Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you for a couple hours, maybe. We'll see how it goes. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. 513-717-5464. And since I'm giving out the number, I might want to pull up the phones. All right. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. A few things, of course, have happened today that I would love to hear your thoughts about. See that? I want to hear your thoughts today. I want to know what y'all think. You got the Supreme Court handed down three decisions, if I can remember what the three are. I'm sure they probably handed down more than three, but the three that kind of stuck out to everybody: the affirmative action, uh, struck down the student loan forgiveness, and the the gay thing, the gay thing. So I want to know what y'all think about it. But of course, before we get into it, before we get into any of that kind of stuff, got to say hello to the people, because we family. Emmanuel love the people. I like when y'all say hi to me, and I get to say hi back. This is really the only thing that I really, like. I really want y'all to do this. I don't ask y'all for much. I don't ask for no money. You know what I'm saying? I let people talk crazy, everything. I don't ask y'all very much. I don't ask you to like. I don't ask you to share. I don't ask you to subscribe. I don't ask none of that. All I ask is when you come in, say hi and tell me where you're checking me out from. Now, if that means, a neighborhood in Cincinnati, because I'm based in Cincinnati, if this is your first time watching, you don't know. If that's a neighborhood in Cincinnati, you can just say the neighborhood. If you're from out of this area, just tell me where you're from. Like, I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I don't, city, state. That's all I ask. All right, let's get to it, because I like this part of the show. I like saying hi to the people. Come on, get to it. Anthony, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Got David in the house. Good afternoon, David. Good afternoon. We got Brent in the house. Anthony and David did not follow the rules, but Brent did. He said, good afternoon. He's checking in from Dallas, Texas. So we got Dallas. Good afternoon, Brent. We got Maria in the house, checking in. Good afternoon from North College Hill. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We got, I promise y'all, I'm buying a new mouse over the weekend. I've been so busy. But over the weekend, I'm buying a new mouse. We got Deborah Simmons in the house. She says, good afternoon. Not 100% following the rules, but good afternoon anyway. Good afternoon. Is it a rule? Did I make it a rule? No, it's just a request. She did not fully honor the request, but I appreciate you checking us out. Good afternoon, Deborah. We got Patricia, another one. Say, I know you don't ask for much, so I'm going to just give you half of what you asked for. Just like a woman. Say, baby, I don't ask you for much. All I'm asking is that you cook and do the dishes. Well, I cook, but you do the dishes. Just like a woman. I give you part of what you asked for. But it's cool, because I appreciate you anyway, Patricia. Now, somebody mad at me. See, I knew he was a misogynist. I'm just having fun. Good afternoon, Patricia. Good afternoon. Shirley says she's checking in from Westchester, working from home today. You got to love it when that happens. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Shirley. Got Olympia in the house. Says, I'll give you a part of what you're asking for. Happy Friday. Well, happy Friday, Olympia. Happy Friday. Anthony says he wants to talk Taylor Swift. We'll talk a little bit of Taylor Swift, not really Taylor Swift. But, I posted the thing today. I want to discuss that just a little bit, because something funny happened after I posted that. But we'll get into it in a little bit. We'll get into it. Dwayne checking in. Good afternoon, everyone. He says from Mount Airy in the house. Good afternoon, Dwayne. Good afternoon. Got Keisha Keisha in the house. I feel like it's Keisha, even though there's that extra I in there. I feel like it's Keisha checking in from North College Hill. Good afternoon, Keisha. We got Dante Johnson checking in from Amelia. Oh, wow. I don't get a lot of Amelia. A lot of white people live in Amelia. Nothing against that, but that's like a heavily white community, right? You're like, I don't know if you live there, you just happen to be there, but you would be like, what? In my mind, they're like 3% black, maybe. Either way, good afternoon, Dante. Lonzo says, good Friday, everyone. Another one says, I'll give you part of what you asked for. Maybe I should ask for more. That's what used to happen when I worked at the radio station and I was programming soul when we went to Motown and classic soul. And the quick story, and I'll make it really quick. I'll try. The quick story is, they said to me here, look, we got this radio station that we want to start. Here are some songs. It might have been maybe 50 to 100 songs that we want to run on this station. I said, okay. And I put all the songs in, everything, had a good little list. But I was like, this is not enough songs to program a station. And you know how much Motown and classic soul is out there? So I started finding songs. Like I combed through, of course, memory, but through the charts and everything. I talked to people who were knowledgeable about music, from back in the day. Of course, Lincoln was a very valuable resource. You know what I'm saying? I did, and I had hundreds, maybe even thousands of songs. I don't remember now. It's been so long. But they gave me those 50 to 100 songs to start with. And the idea was, we'll update the song list as needed. I didn't hear anything from anyone for almost 8 months. So they wanted me to program a music station with 50 to 100 songs for 8 months and people not be tired of that music. Well, I wasn't going to do that. So I went in, I need to ask for more. Trust me. So I went in ahead and I put in a whole lot of those songs that I had, and I had lists and lists and lists. I had them listed, by year, like the top songs of this year. I had them listed by, like, these were just a list. I had a list of every number one song, every song that's ever been number one on the R&B charts or, the Hot 100, because at one point they got rid of the R&B charts because they said, when Motown was up there, it was killing everything. So I had every number one, just number ones, every number one song that had ever charted on the R&B charts during the time period for which they said, this is what we want to play music from. And I didn't put all of them in, but I put enough in. Well, eventually they came and they said, hey, it's 8 months later. It might be time to look at putting some new music in. I said, bruh, it's been 8 months. You really thought I was just going to run like less than 100 songs on a radio station for almost a full year? No, I've been updating. They said, you've been updating? I said, yeah, I've been updating. They said, what? Who told you it was okay to update? I said, well, 2 people. Number 1, me. Number 2, the general manager. So, but the general manager, he's not over programming. I said, look, I tried to reach out to y'all, but nobody would return my call. I wasn't going to let this station just turn into trash. So this is what I did. They went in behind my back one night under the cover of darkness and went into my computer remotely and removed from the system that actually schedules the music all of the music that they hadn't put in. So when they were done, I was down to like 60 songs. And they said, don't change it. And then I didn't hear from them again for like another 3 months. And if y'all listen to soul, y'all remember hearing This Is My Country over and over and over and over again? That was when they had taken all of my songs out. So we were just playing the same songs over and over and over for like 3 months. And I was still calling them like, hey, this sounds terrible. This is horrible. So then when they finally came back into the market like 3 months later, they're like, I was listening to your station and we playing the same songs over and over again. Well, how could you let that happen? How could I let that happen? Y'all made that happen. And I've been reaching out to y'all. It was a big ordeal. I don't want to get into all of that because that's a whole story all in itself. So they said, well, you come up with some songs and then we'll tell you what to put in. I said, I got like 2,000 songs that were already in that y'all took out. So y'all can just put any of those songs back in. They said, oh, no. This is the way we got to do it. And so when he comes to town, which was, for whatever reason, they were doing some overhauling on one of the other stations. He would be in town like every 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. You give him a list of songs, and then he'll tell you which ones to put in and which ones not to put in. Again, initially, I don't know. I don't want to put in a whole lot of music and shock the station. I'm like, you shocked them by taking out all of the music. You won't be shocking them when you put it all back in. They'll be like, ooh, we're back to normal. Either way it went, he told me to give him a list. I gave him a list. And what I didn't figure it out in the beginning, but he would give me, like if I gave him a list of 40 songs, he would say, okay, for like 8 to 10 of them. Okay. Yeah, these other songs ain't no good. So then, the next time he'd come in, I'd give him a list of 40 songs and he'd say, okay, to 8 to 10 of them. I said, interesting. So what I started doing was I give him a list of like 100 songs. And then he would say, okay, to like 20 of them. But he never said, and eventually I said, these are the songs I want in. So I'll just keep giving him the same list until my songs are out, add other songs to it. So every time he came in, I gave him a list of 100 songs. He'd choose 20 of them. I just take 20 more songs that I wanted in and give him that same list plus 20 songs. And then he'd take 20 of those. Now, last week, these songs wasn't no good. But this week, these 20 are perfect. Eventually, I almost got all of the songs back in. So that's what I had to do with y'all. Give y'all more so that y'all will do. If I tell you, say hi and tell me where you're from, some of y'all will say hi. But if I say like, share, subscribe, say hi, tell me where you're from, then some of y'all be like, I ain't doing all that. I'll say hi and tell him where I'm from. So next time, I'm going to have like a list of things that I'm going to ask y'all to do. So maybe some of y'all will actually say hi and tell me where y'all from. That was a long way to go there. But that's a story that, it bothers me still. They ruined my radio station. And my radio station, so in certain time parts, this is going to sound ridiculous, because they didn't believe it, even though they were looking at the numbers. But in certain time parts, Soul was beating The Wiz, which was the number one black station in the market. At certain times of the day, my station was beating The Wiz. And then eventually, y'all know Soul went away. And one of the reasons that Soul went away, they said, well, it's cannibalizing the other stations. Said to make the other stations better. Don't get rid of the station that's winning so that the other two stations that aren't winning can win. Make the other stations better. I actually did offer. Y'all want me to help y'all program the other stations? Because I think what y'all doing over there is what y'all was doing over here, which ruined my station. Y'all just playing the same songs over and over and over, and people get tired of that. So if y'all want them stations to win, change up the way y'all doing it. But they didn't do that. They just got rid of Soul. Boy, that was a long way to go. Deborah, good afternoon from Forest Park. And she said she loved the show. All right. I love you too, Deborah. Well, she didn't say she loved me. She said she loved the show. I don't want to be presumptuous here. Hold on a second. Where are we at? We're at Deborah. Tria, good afternoon. We got Denise, good afternoon, Denise. Checking in from College Hill in the house. We got Brenda Brenda says, hello from Fairfield. All right, Fairfield, and good afternoon, Brenda. We got Anthony. He says, I ain't saying I owe people money. Oh, he ain't saying where he from. All right. We got David says he checking in from Fairfield. All right, good afternoon. Regina checking in from Madisonville. Got Logic Slayer in the house. Good afternoon. And the chat, well, good afternoon to you as well. We got LaDonna. LaDonna says good afternoon from East Price Hill. Good afternoon, LaDonna. What'd you say, David? We got Cleopatra Jones says, hello everyone from the universe. That's what the universe is checking in. You can't beat that. I got the whole universe. His whole sermon was the universe. Walter checking in from Jacksonville, Florida. Good afternoon, Walter. Patricia says, here you go. Westwood. All right. Let me scroll back down. Westwood. All right, Westwood in the house. B-Rab says, what's up? From P Ridge. What is P Ridge? Pleasant Ridge, I'm going to guess. Okay. All right. Kenneth says, great day, powerful people from the west side. Kenneth, good afternoon. Dante says, I live out here in beautiful Amelia. All right. Am I right? It's about 3%. 3% black. Let's see. Someone says they're asking Ross Freeman, has he tried becoming a woman? Whoa. Let's skip over that one. Some other people. Reese Mooney in the house. All right. Good afternoon, Reese Mooney. We got Miss Pittsburgh says, good afternoon, everyone. B-Rap says, tell it. I remember when E-Man played the same songs over and over during the break and Lincoln was heated. Because it's bumper music. It's bumper music. It's not. I listen to talk all over the place. And only a few weirdos put so much emphasis on the bumper music. Like the focus should be the talk. The bumper music is just that little buffer between the end of the commercial and the beginning of the show. It's bumper music. It's not that important. Good afternoon, everyone. Brent says, was the main person objecting to your song choices melanemic? It was Kobe. You know, the guy that came in there with Lincoln not too long ago, the vice president of programming for the whole company. It was him. He was the one objecting to my songs. I remember Lincoln, Freaky Dancing by Cameo. I love that song. I put that song in. And Kobe said, nope, take that out. It's not a good song. Nobody want to hear that. I'm like, bro, it's a good song. Plus, they say Cincinnati in the song. You know, no, take it out. Eventually, he put it back in. It was on one of my lists. Vicky, The Great Impressions. This is my country. Let's see. Just put on some BB King. No, BB King was out. Tell you who else was out? Jonathan Butler. I still don't understand why he said no. He said no, Jonathan Butler. I was like, Jonathan Butler got some good songs. He got some good songs. Lies. Sarah. Like he was like, no, take that out. He would never put Jonathan Butler in. I asked him one day, no, nobody wants to hear Jonathan Butler. He doesn't, what did he? I can't remember the exact terminology, but something like he doesn't speak to the demographic that we're trying to attract. And I'm like, what, people who like good music? He got some good music. No to Jonathan Butler. He just wanted to show he was running things. He's not a nice person. Sean, good afternoon. He's checking us out from Atlanta. All right. So you went around the world to tell us that. Yes. Yes, I did. Yes. Oh, it's like you get a trophy. You get a trophy. They want everyone to win. I was mad. I was mad. My bad, E-Man, checking in from work in Norwood. Milking the clock. Hey, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. B-Rap says they play the same songs because it's an agenda, bro. I don't know what you think the agenda is, but I think they play the same songs because they believe that those are, it is kind of an agenda. But a lot of it is they do market research and they do call outs and all of that kind of stuff. And they test music, stuff like that. And so for whatever reason, they believe that there's only so much music that a person listening to the radio can identify and consume. And so they're like, these are the 8 songs that people want to hear like every hour. Because and somehow they've come to this conclusion. They have this formula, and it's the way they do it. It's the way they do it. It wasn't the way I wanted to do it. It wasn't the way I wanted to do it. And my way was winning. My way was winning. I wouldn't say that we was kicking the Wiz ass because we wasn't. But like I said, in certain day parts, we were beating the Wiz. And when I say beating the Wiz, I mean in that, what is it, 1824 demo? Yes, so the station that played old Motown, funk, and classic soul was beating the Wiz in certain day parts in the 18 to 24 demographic. And they actually told me, like, them numbers ain't right. I was like, bruh, these are the Arbitron numbers. You can't argue with these numbers. Like, if my numbers was like super low, then y'all would be like, oh, we got to do something to get the numbers up. But because my numbers are super high, y'all like, well, them ain't real numbers. Those are artificial. Yeah. You were eating all the cookies. Didn't leave anybody else. That ain't my bad. How's the treadmill going? I missed, I want to say it was Monday or Tuesday. I missed one day this week, but other than that, I've been doing good. I've been doing good. Let's see. Terrence, good afternoon. He says checking. He's in Mount Auburn. Hello from the kingdom of Mount Auburn. All right, good afternoon. We got Pamela. Pamela, good afternoon. Checking in from North Avondale. Good afternoon, Pamela. Good afternoon. We got Erica. Good afternoon from Reading. Good afternoon, Erica. We got Blade in the house. He says, what up, E-Man? What up, Blade? Jeannie. Jeannie in the house. Good afternoon, Emanuel and everyone. Happy Friday. Ron says, I had to tell you that you were right. 100. What was I right about? I mean, I'm right so much. I don't know which thing you're talking about. So if you could let me know, I would appreciate it. Alfred said you worked for him. Alfred wasn't involved in none of that stuff. Kobe said that. Actually, Kobe said a whole lot of stuff that I won't say, but Terry says good afternoon from downtown. Ron says about the ruling today. Okay. B-Rab says he sounds like a control freak. A little bit, but more than that, he just as Lincoln would say, he's just a jerk. He's just a jerk. Moon Reyes says, hey. Well, hey, how you doing, Moon? Jonathan Butler, more than friends. I had that in there. He didn't like that. No Jonathan Butler. No Jonathan Butler. Oh, you on. Hello there, family. That didn't sound like joyful. That sounded like, oh, you on. But that could just be the way I'm reading it. It could just be the way I'm reading it. People like that get some kind of power and a big head. I bet he kissed his boss ass. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Might have had a bad breakup with Jonathan Butler. I love Jonathan Butler music. So do I. So do I. Tina in the house. Good afternoon, Tina. Good afternoon. Will says, I'm in the building. It's Friday, y'all. Hope everyone's good. All right. Anthony says he gets the surveys all the time. Dwayne says that's just like the Buzz only having 2 real shows through the week and 1 on the weekends. Sad. That's a little different. That's more of a money thing. Talk is expensive because, they got to pay, say Lincoln, and then whoever runs the board for Lincoln, because it can't just be Lincoln. Somebody got to run the board for Lincoln. And, Lincoln has to be there a little early to prepare. And that person running the board should be there early as well. And then if you got another person in, that's somebody else you got to pay. And then somebody to run the board for them. And, so every time you bring somebody in, talk is a little more expensive. Talk is a little more expensive. Jeannie says, nobody wants to hear the same music over and over every hour. They should do more research. That's what their research has told them. And back in the day, programmers used to get to decide what music they were going to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Deal, for example, could come up and say, hey, Lincoln, I got this record. Can you play it? And Lincoln, being Lincoln, probably give him a little bit of money and then he'll play your record. They can't do that now. Every song that gets played comes directly from corporate. They're like a cookie cutter, and it's the same songs in like every market. Unless, they got some research that says, oh, this market likes go-go. Then in that market, they'll play go-go, but the people in that market still don't get to decide what go-go to play. Or, they like house, or they like whatever that is the big transvestite does. I don't know the appropriate way to classify the music or the person. The big transvestite from New Orleans. I can't remember his name, but he dressed like a woman and he do like really wild music. I'm sorry, I can't think of his name. And I don't think he's a transsexual. He's just like a is transvestite a thing anymore? Cross-dresser, maybe? I think I should just stop. Does the Wiz play the... I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. I used to work for Critical Mass, and we took radio surveys for songs. Will says a lot of craziness going on out here. The Supreme Court, we gonna get to it. I promise. We gonna get to it. B-Rab says it's been an agenda to kill R&B and hip-hop. So when soul was playing those certain kinds of songs, the higher-ups didn't want 18 to 24-year-olds to have a high vibration of music. Maybe. I remember, though, when the Wiz, because they play, hip-hop. And when rappers would come in, they'd be in town and they'd be going to do an interview and they'd sit in the lobby. And Doris always played soul on the, in the lobby because she liked the music. And sometimes the hip hop artists would be out there taking notes like, oh, I ain't never heard this. So they, in their mind, they listening like, we going to sample that one because I ain't never heard that song before or a sample from it or whatever. And sometimes they would just sit there and listen to soul to hear music that they had never heard before. Hold on, let's see. What don't you want people to remind me of? Let's see. Kobe is retired from radio. No, he's not. He's still there. He's still there. He was just at the station not too long ago. Went on with Lincoln Ware, talking about, how employees or employers don't treat employees right. And I was thinking, bro, you should listen to yourself. Big Frida. Yes, that's the name. Yes, the what am I ain't that a trans? I feel like I shouldn't be talking about this. I feel like I shouldn't be talking about this. But what would you call it? That's a dude, right? That dress like a woman. But I don't know anything about I don't I'm assuming that it's a like it's not a I don't know. I don't know. But that's yeah, a big and he's like not a little dude, he's a big dude dressed like a big woman. That would be a big transvest. Again, I don't think I should be talking about this. Uh I'm not saying all of that. I'm not calling it a nobody or him or her. I don't know. I don't know what to say nowadays. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Um First let me talk about the Supreme Court decision that I agreed with. The Supreme Court decision that I agreed with. Where they say basically you can't force someone to go against their religious beliefs to provide you a service. You can't force someone to go against their religious beliefs to provide you a service. It's kind of the same. Remember the wedding cake guy? The gay couple comes, says, we're getting married. We want you to make us a wedding cake. He says, no, just a gay wedding. I don't believe in that. So, no, I'm not going to make you a cake. It goes against my religious beliefs. Now, I'm sure he would have made them just a regular cake. Like, oh, we want a cake. Like, all right, here you go. Here's a cake. So it wasn't like, I won't serve you because you're gay. It's, I won't use my services to endorse this particular thing that I don't believe in from a religious standpoint. And to me, there's a slight difference. A cake and a wedding cake are okay, fundamentally they're the same, flour and sugar and eggs and butter and all that kind of stuff. It's the same kind of product, but there's a reason why you don't just go get a sheet cake and use that as your wedding cake, because the wedding cake has some deeper meaning that we somehow ascribe to it. So it is slightly different, okay? It is slightly different. But to say my religious beliefs tell me that marriage is, a man and a woman or whatever. So I don't want to endorse this thing. And you shouldn't be forced to do that. Like I tried to point out to Lincoln earlier today. Will said, get y'all pronouns together. I don't know what to call him. I don't even know how does Big Frida identify as a man or a woman? Does anybody know? But I tried to illustrate it today to Lincoln. The service that Lincoln Ware provides is hosting duties. You bring Lincoln in and Lincoln will host your event. Like he does at the Black and White Cancer Survivors Ball. And he get up there on the mic and, he do his Lincoln thing. You got a concert coming in, he'll promote it, and then he'll go and he'll, bring out Bill Cosby. They might have a drink in the back beforehand. You never know what happened to Lincoln before the show. But he will go and then he'll get the crowd revved up and he'll bring out the artists. That's what he does. He hosts events. Based on the logic that a lot of people believe, again, because we're talking about specifically something that your religion objects to. Something that your religion objects to. So, again, if Lincoln were like a devout Christian, a halfway practicing Christian, then, he could be like, no, I don't want to host no satanic party. That goes against my religion. I don't believe in devil worship. And what? They should be able to force, oh no, you're going to come up in here and say, praise Satan. You're going to come up in here and say it. That's what the script say. You're going to read the script. Like, no, I'm not. I don't want to do that. It's against my religion. So you think Lincoln should be forced to do that? And of course, Lincoln kept saying, no, it's different. It's different. How is it different? You provide a service and you have a religious belief. Someone wants you to provide that service and it goes against your religious belief. You should be able to say, nah, not going to do that. Not going to do that. Goes against my religious belief. To me, that one is like cut and dry. And that's not even, at least from my perspective, that's not even no, I don't like homosexuals. I don't believe in gay marriage. I don't believe in gay marriage, but what does that even mean? It exists. So I know, I believe in it in that sense. I don't think it's right. But as long as you're not forcing me to marry no dude, I wouldn't be like, well, make it against the law. So it's not on some hatred type stuff. It's on some, it's just not what I believe in. From a religious perspective, if I'm like, no, I don't want to, by my presence, by my service, by my whatever, I don't want to endorse a homosexual thing that I believe the Bible speaks against. I'm not even saying that I believe that, even though I kind of do, but people do what they do. And you shouldn't be forced to provide your service for something that you are just like 100% against. You shouldn't be forced to provide that service. So I know a lot of people are, against that ruling, but I'm not one of them. I'm not one of those people. That's the ruling that I agreed with. That's the one I agreed with. I want to know, what do you think? What do you think? You think people should be forced? People should be forced to do things, to provide services when it goes against their religion. And I know somebody's out there thinking, well, what if they said, I don't want to make a cake for black people because I don't believe in the races should be mixing. If you making a race mixing cake and you got some religious beliefs of why you don't believe in the races mixing, and I come to your bakery and I say, we having a race mix party and I want you to make the race mix cake, then sure, you got a leg to stand on. Now, again, I think it's different if they just came in holding hands, because that's what people say when they walking around holding hands. Oh, a baker. Hey, we wanted a cake. Just a regular sheet cake. And he's like, no, because you're gay and I don't believe in homosexuality. That would be different. You still got to serve people. You know what I'm saying? You still got to serve people that you might not like or might not agree with their lifestyle. But it's a wedding cake. It's different. And in this particular case, it was the web designer. I make you a web page for your business. I'll make you a web page for what? Oh, we got a gay wedding. I don't want to make it a web page for a gay wedding because I just don't believe in that. I just don't believe in that. Will says, I'm a Christian, but even the Bible was once used to justify slavery. It's only a matter of time before they use religion to deny black service again. See, again, that's different. That's different. Emmanuel, how is it different? It's really simple, even though it's a little complex. I know that didn't make sense, but it's really simple. If you say the Bible you believe the Bible says that black people should be slaves. I don't know that there's anybody saying that nowadays, but I'm sure it exists. And I go in to make anti-slavery cake. And you're like, no, that's against my religion. According to my religion, black people should be slaves. Well, I don't know who's, Juneteenth. A Juneteenth cake. You're like, no, I don't want to make no Juneteenth cake. From a religious standpoint, I still believe black people should be slaves. I would just be like, I bet. And then go to the next baker. Yeah, look, I want a birthday cake. Well, my religion says I could see, maybe a Jehovah's Witness baker saying, hey, I don't believe in celebrating birthdays, so I don't do birthday cakes. I wouldn't be mad. I'm like, you gotta do me. Well, all right. I don't know how you making money, but all right, I'll go to the next baker. Get me a birthday cake. If there's some legit justification, because to me, that's where it's different. That's where it's different. Not to mention, homosexuality and race are just totally different. I don't know why people always try to lump those together. It's totally different. Will says, if things keep going the way they are, I don't know that I agree with that. Anthony says, now you get into who is deciding what religion they are setting the standards for. I believe you would see a different outcome if Muslim or Buddhist were contesting something in the courts. I guess we'd have to see that. We'd have to see that. But I could see, I'm not all that familiar with some of these other religions. Hold on, I got a call coming in. Blade?
What's going on?
How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. You're making some good points. You made that difference between homosexuals and black people. Most of us won't. A lot of our churches' mantle is already broken. They already accepted everything. And your whoever quoted that, where is it in the Bible where it said God said black people should be slaves? If you can find a scripture, I would throw away all my Bibles. I don't think it's in there. I think it was misquoted for him to justify slavery. So where is that in the Bible? When I throw all my Bibles and throw religion away, if a person can quote that scripture?
Well,
because
I'll tell you, there is something where they talk about slaves honoring their masters.
Yeah, but like you said, that's a different kind of slavery. That's not American slavery. If you put it in context, that don't justify slavery of today. That was dealing with economics, dealing with slavery, working themselves out of slavery. That don't justify what's going on in America. So I wish our people would quit trying to go against the Bible, because that's the only thing they're going to be free. Because if you look at it today, you may not want to agree with me, but laws are taking us back into slavery. Black people today, maybe after me and you, are going to volunteer to be slaves. And that sounds crazy, but that's what's going to happen, because that's the way our mindset is. Just like you're talking about the music. I ain't going to mention things, but I think somebody was typing. We know certain corporations gathered up radio stations to destroy them and to think certain way by playing songs every 15 minutes. And then they say, we wanted that. That's crazy as hell. Peace out, bro.
All right. That's Blade. He's got his opinion. Few comments have come in since he was on. Quintano says, I can look at you and see that you're black, but I can't necessarily look at you and know that you're gay. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But sometimes you can just look at somebody. There was a dude. I shouldn't even tell this story because it don't make sense, but I started, so I had to finish. I went to Popeyes. Stopped by Popeyes. I just wanted some chicken tenders. A few chicken tenders. So I'm sitting and I'm contemplating because I partly didn't want to go in. But so I'm sitting in my car and this dude pull up to me playing some I don't know what kind of music it was. But you know that one music. He was playing that music. And it was a lady singing, kind of sound like it's raining men type stuff. And he was in the car just getting it. And I was thinking, he gave it a mug. And I hadn't even, I just kind of seen him out the corner of my eyes. It's nothing but just, just the fact that he was getting it to that music. But then this woman pulled up and he got out the car and, she parked her car and they held hands, walked into the store and she bought him some chicken. And I was thinking, but he was just out there getting it to the he was getting it to the music. Like, dude is gay. Like, clearly he was getting it to that music. He is gay. I don't, he's gay. If you didn't know, I know Tom joining them used to say this as a joke, but I really do believe it. If you put on that music and dude, like, he he gay. So I was like, maybe not. He was holding her hand. She bought him some chicken. And then as they walked out, he let go of her hand. And I don't know how to describe it, but there's a certain motion that he made with his hand, just the way he did his hand, because he had the chicken and then he had the offhand. And he opened up the door and the way his offhand swung, I was like, this dude gay in a mug. And then she went and got in her car and drove off. And then he sat there for a few minutes. Well, I don't know how long he sat there. I came out after them because I ordered after them. So he had been sitting there for a couple minutes and he was still blaring the music. And the lady was singing and he was still in the car eating his food. He was getting it. And I was like, that dude gay. How does she not know he gay? I was thinking maybe she do know he gay. I don't. So all of that to say, sometimes you can tell. Sometimes you can just look and you can tell. But had he just been just regular walking, I wouldn't have known. Had he just been, somebody said do it and do the hammer. I don't know. It's something about the way they do their wrist and the way they swing their arm. It's too much swing in the arm and not enough bend in the wrist. I don't really know how to do it. But it's just, when you see it and you be like, he gay. If you didn't know before and they talking and then, they do their little hands, you know. He may have been gay and they were just friends. Do you hold hands with your friend walking into the, I mean, maybe people do. I don't do that. I have female friends. When I was a single man, me and my female friends, I wasn't hitting it or nothing. We not walking around holding hands. We don't walk into the store and walk around holding hands. That just is. But to your point, I can look at you and tell you black. I can't necessarily look at you and tell that you're gay. Agree. I agree. Hold on, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there we go. Do the hand thing. I can't do it. It's a certain way that they swing their arm. I can't do it. I can't do it. Some gay guys are very affectionate. I guess. That don't seem normal to me. Just to walk around with just people holding hands. Um, said house music. Yeah, I guess it's house music. I guess it's house music. But she was singing like like Barbara Weathers, and I was like, that's some gay music. There is gay music, I believe. Um, 513-717-5464. 513-717-5464. So that was the one that I agreed with that they came with. Then I'll go to the one that I'm, kind of ambivalent. The whole student loan forgiveness. I thought when Joe Biden talked about student loan forgiveness, I thought that's a great idea. It's a great idea. But I kind of knew it was just an idea. No part of me ever thought that that was actually gonna happen. No part of me, hold on, I'll be honest. For just a moment, I thought he might get this through. But never really did I think they about to be forgiving everybody's student loans. I didn't really think that. I thought this is something political that he's putting out, kind of leading up to the midterms that'll, maybe be helpful. So then he'll have the abortion thing to fall back on. He'll have the student loan forgiveness thing to fall back on, to kind of push people out to the polls. So when the word came down that they struck down the student loan forgiveness, I was like, it would have been nice, but I never really expected it. It's something that probably should happen. And look, I get it, the whole conversations that went on during the whole conversation around whether or not, well, I paid my student loans. Why can't, I understand people had those feelings. But I was all right with it happening if it would have happened. I wasn't sure that it was gonna happen. I was pretty sure it wasn't. So I guess that's that. Um, do I think it should happen? Again, it would be nice, but I don't see it happening. That was just, one of them sticks to put out there. Like in that commercial, okay, I got $1. Ooh, you just missed it. That commercial, that was what that was. Reaching for the dollar, reaching for the dollar, knowing, they was going to keep pulling the dollar away. I had an idea about that. So, I'm not even mad at the Supreme Court on that one. Now to the other one, affirmative action. Affirmative action. I'm for affirmative action. I'm for the idea that we look at groups of people who have been underprivileged, underserved, discriminated against, held back, all of that kind of stuff, and you say, we'll take that into consideration for admission. We'll take, because they take a whole lot of stuff into consideration. And if you think about it in terms of a point scale, which, I imagine some schools do it that way, others not necessarily. A 100 points. What if you're black, you get an extra 5 points. If you're a woman, you get an extra 5 points. If you whatever. But all of that is just still taking things into consideration. Still taking things into consideration. Just like they do with legacy. Just like they do with legacy. Your parents went to this school. Well, you're going to have a whole lot more legacies at some of those institutions where they didn't even let people of color into some of them. So it would be hard to be a legacy. So It's like these people can benefit from these things being taken into consideration. Because again, it's not just you black, you in. It's not that simple. It's, we take that in consideration. We take into consideration kind of the I'm trying to think of the terminology that they use. But like the entire population and the the benefit that having multiculturalism has in the classroom, on the campus, in this environment. So yes, they take that stuff into consideration. I understand the Asian students like, look, I would have got in if it wasn't for, you know, those ends. I would have got in. He took my spot. And I guess that would be upsetting if you felt that way. If you felt like that was a part of why you didn't get in. So, I'm trying to, I understand affirmative action. I understand the need for affirmative action. We're not past the time when there is a need for affirmative action. And for everybody running around, I'm like, well, black people just need to work harder. Black people need to just study harder. It's not that simple. Come on, we all know it's not that simple. We talk about conditions in communities and, oh, do we need the whole community to blah, 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 and all of that kind of stuff. When we're talking about that stuff, we understand that there are certain things that are depressing our community, even if those things are internal. Because I know some people, they just think black people are the worst people in the world and, you know, just whatever. But even if those things are internal, those things aren't internal just because we want them to be internal if you believe that. We've been conditioned. We'll break out of it. That's easy to say. But the fact that we got something that we need to break out of, where a lot of other communities don't have it to that same degree. Like I'm trying to make room for all of the people who are apologists for, they don't think they are, but for all the people who are apologists for, racism and discrimination and, white people are better and blah, blah, blah. And black people just need to get their shit together. And for all of those people, I made it. You can make it. I did it. Why can't you do it? For all of those people, let's say you're right. Let's say you're right. That still speaks to the fact that there is something going on. There is something going on with the black person in America. Overall, a hindrance that holds us back, even if it's internalized by now. And what would be the problem with, people are acting as if they just saying, to straight F students, well, you black, come on and go to Harvard. Oh, you black, come on and go to Yale. That's not the case. That's not the case. Oh, hold on a second. No. That's not what. Hold on. It's not showing what I'm telling it to show. Okay. Take into consideration those cultural issues along with grade point average so that black students still have to have an acceptable grade point average. So they might knock out a white or Asian student with similar or the same GPA because they are black. Okay, hold on. Something weird is going on with the stream. I'm gonna refresh. I think when I refresh, I go away for a second, but then I'll come right back. So the screen might go black, but I'm not gone. Just stay right there. Stay right there. I'm just going to hit refresh. All right. So I should be back. And if you had a comment in there, all the comments are gone on my side. So I can't see it. But something was going on weird over here. Something was going on weird over here. But yeah, I'm not anti-affirmative action. Even though, okay, if affirmative action is gone, which, by the way, I don't think I've ever benefited from affirmative action. I think a lot of us have never benefited from affirmative action. So, I mean, we're going to be all right. But I don't think affirmative action is a bad thing. It's not this boogeyman. I like to say boogity man because boogeyman makes me think of that song by Casey and the Sunshine Band. It's not this boogity man that people are making it out to be. Like all these Asians ain't, been denied higher education because black people need a spot. That's not what's happening. But I want to hear your thoughts on it. 513-717-5464. 513-717-5464. I gotta talk just a little bit about Taylor Swift. Oh, don't go nowhere. Look, I know you heard Taylor Swift and you're like, all right, I'm out. Because that's how I feel. But oh wow. Anthony posted a lot. Hold on, before I get to Taylor Swift. And I promise y'all, I'm not talking about Taylor Swift. Even though I said I'm talking about Taylor Swift. Just roll with me for a second. Don't just 100% go away. I want to read, though, what Anthony said. 513-717-5464. Anthony says, people dismiss the mental damage that was done by the system. We come from the people that were enslaved, kept from education. Even when they showed they were smart, they were still steered in the school system from having any further thoughts of achieving greatness. The same programming was passed down to the coming generations. It's that programming that still haunts us today. Yes. I don't know that I could have said it any better. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I couldn't have. Otherwise, I probably would have. Lee says, not gone from the military like West Point. All right, hold on. Let me answer the phone. I'll talk to some more people. Comments. Brent.
Hey, what's going on, E-Man?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm all right. Hey, wanted to talk about these Supreme Court decisions.
All right.
I got you brought up. So starting with the affirmative action decision, you already hit on part of it. Is that well, number one, the Asians that were so aggrieved, they went after low-hanging fruit. The way I see it, they went after the black people when they could have been going after legacy, which is for a lot of these schools, public and private, that have legacy systems in place that are taking more, I guess, deaths at these schools from them than black people ever would.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're upset because I think that guy was trying to get into Yale or something like that. And the acceptance rate is only like, what, 5%? It's something ridiculously low. So much so that, someone told them that, hey, a black person took your spot and, hey, we will fund your case all the way through the court system up to the Supreme Court. Not that they wanted the Asian to get into school, is that they wanted to keep the black folks out of the school and destroy the system that was put in place, meant to give us a leg up knowing the history of this country. So and they allowed themselves to be used for that, which is sad. And I've even heard other Asian commenters comment about the exact same thing.
And a part of it that's missing too is that for these schools, if you just happen to have a spare $20 million to drop on the building, guess what? You can get your dumb kid into that school too.
Yes.
And and that just happens a whole lot there from that perspective. So it's going to be tougher. These schools have to be smarter in writing their admission policies to craft the language such that it can consider race without directly considering race. Whether it's about underprivileged zip codes or something along those lines, to where they can still admit black people and poor brown people and everything else. But if they really wanted to blow it up, they would have attacked legacy, because that's where the bulk of it is. Because everybody knows that George Bush W was as dumb as a sack of wet kittens, but he got into those Ivy League schools too. So they know what it is, but it's easier to kick the black man, or to use the white resource to kick the black man down so they can get their child in there. And, of course, what's not said too is that they were trying to get in there, but they got accepted into dozens and dozens of other very highly rated schools with full ride scholarships. So it's like, okay, you didn't get into one school and now you're pissed and going after all black people. That's just insane.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about the student loan.
All right.
One too. Yeah, with the makeup of the court, I figured that was eventually going to get knocked down. But this is where, I paid my student loans, but I wasn't mad at folks who was, had an opportunity to have their student loan debt erased. But in that case, now these people, instead of just being pissed and saying, well, Biden wasn't going to do it, oh man, he was trying to, get black votes and other votes. Well, now this is what you do. You go after the laws that are currently on the books that do not allow student loan debt to be discharged during bankruptcy. Because I think that's the only loan debt that you could file for bankruptcy, and the courts will say, nah, you got to pay all that.
Yeah, that student loan debt don't go away.
Don't go away. And that's an avenue to attack that. And hopefully folks have been, playing chess and, already saw the writing on the wall and started, these efforts going on. But that's the way to do it, is to change that. And I'm sure it's a lot of, ultra rich banks that don't want that debt discharged, because they package that debt up, and derivatives markets and all this other stuff that I know very little about, but I know that's a major part of it. It's a huge revenue source, because you consider, some people, especially if you're going to get, law degrees and doctorate degrees, you could easily have, $400,000 and $500,000 worth of student loan debt. But a part of that too is that if all you want to be as a teacher, why in the hell are you taking out $20,000, $30,000 a year, knowing that you're going to have a teacher's salary?
Well,
so
but if you want to be a teacher, you got to get the certifications to be a teacher.
Yes, but you don't necessarily have to go to, I don't know how much Ohio State is, but University of Texas here, I think it's like $20,000 a year. The main campus, Austin. Well, you could go to the Arlington campus and only pay $8,000 to $9,000 a year, have the same University of Texas designation, but you're not paying the major brand name price in addition to getting your certification. So I'm saying, you don't have to go to, you can make a decision based off of your financial position, still get a top quality degree, still get the certifications, but not wind up with, the only thing that's, I have Ohio State on my degree, because not everybody, even though Ohio State got a large, student population, you don't have to have an Ohio State degree in order to get, all your teaching certifications. And
yeah, but at the same time, I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, to ask 16, 17-year-olds to not want to go to the big popular school, wherever it is, their dream school, is a, hey, just think about how much debt you're gonna have when you're 50. I'm 16. I
Hmm.
want to go to Ohio State, the Buckeyes, the want to go to the
Yeah.
shoe, and I want to go to the, and I agree with you. That's probably the wisest
Hmm.
thing to do. But we don't really
Right.
celebrate that. Like people don't. I won't say very rarely, but you hear people like super excited that my child got into Ohio State, my child got into LSU, my child got into whatever their
Yeah.
favorite prestigious school is. You don't really hear a lot of people like, oh man, big news, my child got into UC at Blue Ash campus. You know what I'm saying? It's like you
Cable
don't
Academy.
yeah, you don't really hear that. And I think that plays a part in it as well.
Yeah, and that's where the mindset has to change. And I know we're about to embark on that with our youngest son. He'll be a senior this year, so we looking at schools, locally, and UNLV, Arizona State. We'll be headed up check out Cornell, and maybe come through Ohio State, and maybe come through Cincinnati. If hopefully I won't get caught in traffic. But those are the hard decisions and hard conversations we're having with them now. If nothing else, to say, hey, we don't have a problem with you wanting to go there, but how about these first 2 years? You go to the community college, get those courses out of the way, because if that's your goal and that's what you want to have on there on your diploma, Ohio State or whatever that main university is, go ahead and get the basics out of the way so you at least have less debt.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, at the end, no matter how many schools you go to, it's the one you graduate from. That's the name that's going to be on that diploma. So there's ways to play it, and we have to, children, teenagers are irrational. They want what they want, but that's where parents come into play. And parents can't get caught up with trying to keep up with the Joneses just because they have their friends' kids that are getting all these big name schools and getting full rides and everything, and figure we got to do that in order to keep up with them when they really don't like us. So it's a game that we have to play in order to, we just have to be a little bit smarter from that standpoint and get them to look at, like, hey, you're going for this degree that pays $30,000 a year, but you're taking on $30,000 a year in debt. Doesn't really make sense. And then shock on interest, and interest rates are higher too. And if you don't qualify for the Perkins loan and the Stafford loans and things like that, you have to take out a regular loan. And guess what? Those insurance rates start from day one. So to where they start accruing. So I totally understand that. Totally understand that. But I want you to know one other Supreme Court case that you didn't talk about.
All right.
And that's the one where I think it was maybe it came out yesterday with the post office guy who wanted Sundays off because of his faith, because he was a Christian.
Right.
And I'm just wondering how that's going to play out for, say, Jewish folks or Muslim folks who, who observe the Sabbath. So that's Friday and Saturday, and depending on what positions you have, that's prime time hours.
Because they ruled in his favor, if I'm correct,
yes,
right? Yeah.
That is correct. That is correct. So I wonder how that's going to affect more so the service industries, including UPS, and whether it's fast food or whatever it is, how that's going to affect scheduling for folks if they just don't keep it Christian, because that was his case. But I'm assuming it covers. I'm making a big assumption that it covers all religion or religious exemptions. But we all know from your experience, religious exemptions, even with a private company, doesn't always, or a publicly traded company, doesn't work.
No.
You can claim it, but they can deny it.
Yep, they don't care.
So, but that's all I have for you.
All right. Hey, Brent, I appreciate your call.
All right, TikTok player.
All right. That's Brent. I'll talk about the shirts before I go. Will says, and let's be real, many employers look at the type of schools you may have come out of, unfortunately. Let you have education, East Jesus College, Lexington, Kentucky on your resume and compare it to someone having an OSU or somewhere more popular. Stop it, mouse. More likely, they're gonna go with the latter. Yeah, yeah. Uh, Joe says still only 12 people. You need a new occupation, Arnold Drummond. All right. Let's see. That's funny. I don't but you still here. That's what's funny to me. You made your way over here. Pamela says Dr. Odell Owens always talked about going to a community college to get the basic courses out of the way at a lower cost to the student and family. Yes. Now, to be fair, Dr. Owens was only talking about that when he was the president of Cincinnati State. That's the reason why he was talking about that, because he wanted people to come to his school. But it is still a good decision for a lot of people. It is still a good decision for a lot of people. Dr. Owens wasn't necessarily saying that as like, hey, this is the best strategy, people. I'm trying to school y'all. He was saying it like, hey, I'm the president of this school. I want to increase enrollment. Come on, come with me. Oh, let's see. He called you Arnold Drummond. Yes, he did. Oh, uh, oh, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. All right, so let's talk about Taylor Swift, real quick. Janice says there are some on the afternoon experiment and some on your personal page and some on Twitter. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not even broadcasting on Twitter. Why am I not broadcasting on Twitter? Hold on. Let me next. I don't have the Twitter stream is not up right now. And okay, there we go. So there's some on, you can catch me on Twitch, on the YouTube personal page, on the YouTube Afternoon Experiment page, on my personal page, and on the Afternoon Experiment page on Facebook. And there are actually people on all of those except for Twitter. I don't know that I've ever had a single person. I might have something wrong on Twitter. I don't think I've ever had a single viewer on Twitter. I have to go back and make sure I don't just have it private. Make sure it's a public stream. All right. Now, let's go back to, he says a total of 16 people. Actually, it's a total of 57. A total of 57 people across all the platforms right now. Taylor Swift. Look, I ain't got nothing against Taylor Swift. I don't know the girl, the woman. I don't know her, none of her, I'm sure I've heard a song or two of hers. I don't know nothing about Taylor Swift. I'm glad she sold out 2 shows. I'm glad her fans are going to get an opportunity to see her. Go and enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Here's my issue with the whole thing with Taylor Swift. The way the local media is covering this. Y'all know when when everything broke about affirmative action, it was what, around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around in there, 9 o'clock. I'm on MSNBC because I had tried to watch Fox 19 in the morning because they're local. So I tried to watch them in the morning, but everything was Taylor Swift. And I'm like, did nothing happen in Cincinnati? Like literally nothing happened that interests Cincinnati except Taylor Swift? Nothing. Like this is the news. I get it. Taylor Swift being here is a big story to y'all. I get it. But let me tell you this. If Michael Jackson came back from the dead, like literally resurrected, and could prove he didn't do it to all them little boys, and Prince resurrected. And they were both in their prime doing a joint concert at Paul Brown Stadium and sold it out for 10 straight days. And I turned on the news, I would still want to see some actual news. I would still want to see some actual news. I mean, sure, it would be big news if these people resurrected. That would be big news. And that they're here doing a concert, that would be huge news. But the Supreme Court just struck down affirmative action. And I'm watching the news. And the news ain't talking about the Supreme Court struck down affirmative action. They're doing, oh, and this person is getting a free pair of Taylor Swift tickets and her mom camped out for, and I'm basically watching a documentary about a 7-year-old or a 12-year-old who getting, I'm like, they just struck down affirmative action. Like, y'all ain't even gonna report it. Taylor Swift, that's it. Do some stories on Taylor Swift. It's a big deal. It's, economic impact. I get it. She's got a lot of fans. She's very popular. I get it. But I'm watching the news. Show me some news. Like, and I'm not, maybe they did. Maybe they did. And I'll just turn away. Because eventually I did get to the point where I was like, F Fox 19. Because I don't have it. They're not talking about the news. So I had to go to MSNBC and CNN and Fox. And then I would flip back and it's, Swift Mania or whatever they were calling it. I'm like, affirmative action, y'all. I started to call in. Because, from time to time, I'll call the news stations. And I'll tell them, like, what y'all doing I don't like. I don't appreciate for whatever reason. I didn't do it today. Because I was like, they not going to listen to me. Taylor Swift is in town. And that's all the news that they care about. That's all the news that they care about. So you just abandon the idea of informing people about what's going on in their city and in their country and in the world. You just abandon that idea because Taylor Swift is in town. And again, this ain't an anti-Taylor Swift nothing. I don't have any animosity towards Taylor Swift. To my knowledge, she ain't never did nothing to me. I don't have any animosity towards her fans. I hope they go and I hope they have an amazing time. From young ones to the old ones. I hope they go and I hope they have an amazing time. I hope she puts on a hell of a show. I hope everything goes without a hitch. If there is a hitch, we probably won't hear about it. If there's a hitch, we probably won't hear about it. But, man, I want to hear some news when I turn on the news. I want to hear some news when I turn on the news. So what some of the listeners of the buzz when they call corporate? That's different. I'm not calling the news station to try to, what I'm saying? I'm not like, I don't know none of the people's names. I'm sorry, I don't. I know they all on there and I watch them almost every day, but they don't, something about them don't. Like Jessica, I knew her name, but these others don't really know their names. But I'm not calling to try to get nobody in trouble. I'm calling to tell them. I'm not calling their parent company. I'm calling them to say, hey, can y'all actually talk about some news? Like when the so-called riots or whatever was going on this last time, surrounding George Floyd, and they were broadcasting and they were just saying horrible racist things. I called them and I said, hey, maybe y'all should get somebody black in to talk about what's going on in the black community. I was watching Channel 5 that day. And then, they called in Curtis Fuller. Say, hey, we got Curtis Fuller now over at the so-and-so. because Cherie Palello and the other dude was just saying like crazy racist stuff to me. It was I couldn't take it. So I had to call them. I wasn't trying to get nobody in trouble. I just wanted to see a different perspective. So that's, it's different. I mean, when people call corporate, they was trying to get people in trouble and get people fired. I didn't want nobody fired. I just want y'all to do good news. Not good news, but, do the news right. And in this particular case, I just wanted them to do some news. I just wanted them to do some news. Terry says, did you actually hear the callers when they called the bus? I don't understand the question. Yes, I heard the callers when they called the bus. Guess you know how Channel 19 runs. Yes, I do. So that was a good guess. Yes, I do. Wow, I wish you could talk that good about LeBron James. Look, if Taylor Swift dressed up as a gorilla representing black people, then I would talk bad about that. To my knowledge, Taylor Swift hasn't represented black people as a gorilla. Now, if you show me that she did, I won't like her either. I know LeBron James did. So, it's totally different. Janice says, years ago, several of us called into the news stations and complained that they should also show mug shots of white offenders along with showing black offenders. They began showing both. Right. They need that feedback. And it wasn't, we called in to try to get somebody fired. It was, y'all would be doing a much better job at sharing the news with people if y'all shared it fairly and equitably or equally or whatever terminology you want to use. Terry, I'm only entertaining you because why not? Just because your intent is to not get them in trouble, the call alone may be a reprimand. It's not. It's not. And you can believe it, whatever you want to believe. Don't be mad at me because I know how the news stations, how the newsroom work, because I know a few people in the news. I know black people who work in the news, who I've talked to and said, why do y'all do this? And why do y'all do that? And why do y'all say this? And why do y'all say that? And they say, well, if you don't like it, then you should call in. Call into the news desk and tell them you don't like it. We speak up about this stuff all the time, but nobody calls in and says, hey, when you got this situation going on that involves the black community, why do you only have two white anchors talking about it? They can't express it from our point of view. That we say that, but then if nobody else says it, they don't care, and that's what they do. But then when y'all call in, then they say, oh, let's get somebody black to talk about this. Don't be mad at me because that's what the news people that I've talked to said is the way it should be done. Are you mad at me? Because because I know. Don't be mad at me because I know. Oh, boy. Some of y'all just funny. Some of y'all just funny. Walter says, come on, E, that was over 15 years ago. What? George Floyd was killed over 15 years ago? Oh, my God. Time has flown because I didn't think it was 15 years ago that George Floyd was killed. Oh, you're talking about LeBron. Okay. My bad. It's not slander if it's true. It's not slander if it's true. That's just the truth. It don't matter if it was 80 years ago. He ain't apologized for it. Get off his penis. He don't want you. what I'm saying? LeBron don't want you. He don't know you. He don't need you on his penis. Get off his penis. Terry says, you know damn well nobody believes you know how it's ran, but nice try. All right. Janice, apparently we don't know. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? When people call into a news station, it's, you know, she just called in and told us a anecdote as well. And, you know, there's no way for me to know any of the news people in the city. No way. There's no way. So, all right. Daryl trying to get me to not like Taylor Swift. I used to hear, somebody used to say this to me a lot. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. I don't like Taylor Swift. I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I'm indifferent towards her. I don't care. I don't know nothing about her. I don't wish like amazing on her. I don't wish bad on her. Whatever happens to Taylor Swift happens to Taylor Swift. I'm very much indifferent. And that's, believe it or not, it's not negative. Again, I don't want to see nothing bad happen to her. So don't try to get me to not like Taylor Swift. Just let me be indifferent. Now, again, you say she butchered a legendary black group classic song. I don't know exactly what that means. Did she redo a song and you didn't like it? That's no reason to not like a person. That's no reason to not like a person. Was he dressed as a gorilla, or did you come to the conclusion he's being King Kong? I got common sense. So I knew what they were trying to do. And he knew what they were trying to do. Don't be mad at me. Will says, I've read, though, that Swift's boyfriend is a known racist. I've never read that. That's the first I've heard of it. Oh, got a call coming in. CK.
Hey, what's up, E-Man?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, hey, listening to your show, man, dude tried to tear you down. He tried to cyberbully you.
He did.
Somebody is only 12.
He did.
I'm like, damn. I mean, it don't matter how old you get, people won't never stop bullying and teasing, huh? You just take that to the grave with you.
Yeah, I believe, you know what I'm saying? You could tell who was the bullies or who got bullied. Like, one of the two things happened. Either in high school or when they were younger, they were bullies and they never grew out of it. Or back when they were young, they got bullied. And so they figure, now I can do it to somebody else. So either way, it's all right. It's all right. We deal with it. It's expected.
And I guarantee you, whenever they criticize you, for it's just like when they call you, oh, that's just a one-hit wonder. Well, how many hits you got? I hate when they say that. Hey, man, oh, he just a one-hit wonder. Vanilla Ice had nothing more than Ice, baby. Well, how many hits you had? How many platinum hits you got? They can't even put one out, but they want to talk about your 12. I bet you they ain't never in life. Whoever said that ain't never in life had 12 people listening to them live at one time on the internet.
Hey, maybe they have, but I get, to me, it don't matter. Like, again, and I'll tell you, I'll tell anybody who want to, if 17 people want to watch me and they say, Emanuel, we want you to go on live so that we can watch you and interact with you, laugh at you, think with you, whatever. That's why I'm doing it. So I'm
exactly.
all right with it.
Black Lives Matter.
I'm all right
until
with
they don't. Then they want to talk about Black Lives Matter. Of course they matter, because like you said, you care about every single one of them. Everybody. I got into it with the comment section. I'm telling them about Taylor Swift. I say she the greatest musical artist since Rick James. You remember Rick James?
Yeah, I remember Rick James. And I can't say I wouldn't say Rick James is one of the greatest musical artists, but
Fire and Desire.
he had some good
She was
songs, but
cold as ice long ago. Remember that?
greatest. See, I don't really get into a lot of debates about who's the greatest because that's subjective. So I don't really get into a lot of debates about that. But some people like you kind of it's subjective. So maybe to you, Rick James is the second greatest artist in the history of the world. So
No, I said it's just like saying this dude is the greatest basketball since LeBron. I'm not saying LeBron the greatest. He's just the greatest since LeBron. I know it was people that came before LeBron. Remember?
all right.
Kareem, you know what I'm saying? Bill Russell, Michael Jordan. Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. But Taylor has took it to the next level. She went to the pinnacle. See, this is what Rick James would have been without the drugs. He would have been where Taylor. See, Taylor now is, if you notice, the #1 artist in the world. Michael Jackson level, if you remember him.
I don't know that she Michael Jackson level, but
Who would you put over her? You just told me they
Michael
couldn't
Jackson.
even do the news. You just told me they couldn't even do the news.
I would put Michael Jackson over her. I will put Prince over her. I will put probably Beyonce over her. And I don't even like Beyonce. But I would put Beyonce over her. I'm not sure what criteria you're using to say, she's Michael Jackson level.
Yeah, you just said it. That was then. She is now. They gone in the dust. And Beyonce is raising a family. But she definitely gave up the crown to Taylor.
But to me, Michael Jackson level was something different. Michael Jackson crossed over like all ages, all spectrums. You can't, I would argue it's going to be difficult finding somebody over the age of 12 right now, someone over the age of 12 who don't know a Michael Jackson song. It's going to be very difficult. You could find, I'm a 52-year-old dude. I don't know no Taylor Swift. You can find an 80-year-old, a 95-year-old. They going to know some Michael Jackson. White, black, young, old. Taylor Swift can't say that. And that's not necessarily dogging Taylor Swift. It's just the truth. I wouldn't put her on a Michael Jackson level.
No. Okay, let me be clear. Because I'm not saying, that's why I said Rick James. I didn't say the best artist since Michael Jackson. I said Rick James.
No, you said she on a Michael Jackson level.
Yeah. But let me be clear. Let me be clear so you can understand exactly what I mean.
Okay.
She is #1. I'm not saying, her #1 not as big as Michael Jackson #1, but she is still a #1. She a king right now.
Okay.
Like he was. But you're right. She's not making people just pass out just by a glimpse of her. You know what I mean? She's not on that level. But that's what I'm saying. She's on the level of the people you named, Prince, Michael Jackson. They was #1s. Maybe they #1s was bigger than hers, but she's still #1. And it's like hard to take that crown from her. See, all we looking for is the #1 spot.
Again, I got nothing against Taylor Swift. I don't know much about Taylor Swift. But I got no animosity towards her or her fans. I just, when I turn on the news, I want to see the news.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now that's what I'm saying. You said if they would have came back from the grave and did a concert, that was an excellent analysis because that's how much coverage they put on it. They just showed you how big she is. Like it wasn't even no other news.
But it was other news.
Cincinnati.
See, I think there's a difference. And, a lot of times we pretend like we don't see the stuff. But you won't see that kind of coverage from, again, if Michael Jackson came to town, you would not see that coverage. And some of that has to do with the racial makeup of her and her fan base. And the media here is not going to cover a black artist. In my opinion, the media here is not going to cover any black artist the way that they're covering this young lady. That's just the way that I see it.
Yeah, I didn't even know she was in Cincinnati until you brought it up on your station. I said, "What? I thought you was talking about the they got into it over them ticket sales. Man, they say she got like some $5,000 tickets, and I think she's suing them or something. That's what I thought you was about to talk about. You say, no, she in the 513.
You did so I'm guessing you have not turned on the TV at all today.
No, I just got off. I ain't even know nothing about Taylor.
Yeah, if you turn on the TV, you gonna be hit with a wave of Taylor Swift that's gonna, you're gonna be like, really, all this, really?
For $1 million, could you name one Taylor Swift song? For $1 million in cash right in your hand right
I
now.
could, but here's why I could. Because I heard Raven say one earlier today to Lincoln Ware. That's the only
you
reason.
Got rich on them.
So I would
you would have stolen one from them.
Other than that song, no, I couldn't name a single Taylor Swift song. But that don't mean that she's not a good artist. Again, she's got an amazing fan base. They love her. They support her. And I'm 100% for it. I don't know no Taylor Swift songs.
If Joey Votto ain't still playing, I can't name one baseball player for $1 million. And I grew up watching baseball, Eric Davis and all of them. That's how far off I am with the baseball game. But like you said, that Taylor Swift, you named it. She got the young generation on lock like a Kardashian family.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for taking my call, man. You have a great weekend, brother.
Hey, CK, hold on. I got to ask you this question. With regard to the web designer who the Supreme Court said didn't have to design a website for a gay couple getting married, what are your thoughts on that?
They don't want him to make a gay one?
He don't want to make the gay one. He says it's against his religion. He don't want to make the gay one, but the gay people like, you make great websites. We want you to make us one. He like, nope, I love Jesus. And, it goes downhill from there.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, he right. He don't have to make that for them, do it?
But no, the Supreme Court do it. Yeah, the Supreme Court has said no, he don't have to.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, don't make that man go against himself.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I think on that, man. Yep. Appreciate it.
All right, CK.
Thank you. I'm going to keep listening, man.
All right. All right. That was CK. I just wanted to know what he thought. Hold on. Terry says persecution of LeBron for the rest of his life for one picture is the same as getting rid of affirmative action. All right, if you say so. Get off his penis. LaDonna says, what song was that? What? The one song that I know, she said, was Shake It Off. Which I thought that was Mariah Carey. But I guess she did it too. Hold on, scroll, mouse. Phyllis says, I agree with you, man. People like what they like. Do you let them do them? Yeah, I ain't mad at none of them people. I never been into I was a big Michael Jackson fan, but I would not have been crazy like those people was crazy at a Michael Jackson concert. I was a big Prince fan, but I would have never been crazy. Like, people can't necessarily, like, you can do whatever you want to do for the most part, but I don't think any less of the Taylor Swift people who are buying up all the merchandise and, waiting in hours long lines and paying hundreds or thousands of dollars for a ticket. I would never do it for any artist. But I mean, if you got it and I'm saying you that kind of, whatever, I wouldn't have flown to Spain to see Beyonce. But I was very happy for Lincoln Ware's daughter who got the opportunity to do that because she got the time, she got the resources, she has the drive and the desire. And if that's what she want to do, why would I knock her for it? Say, why would I knock these people who like Taylor Swift? You got the resources to do it. You got the time to do it and the desire to do it. Do it. Just because I wouldn't do it don't mean it shouldn't be done. Let's see. The Arnold Drummond joke was hilarious, and now I see it. All right. Let me see. People saying CK is hilarious. Let me see. Genesis, what am I missing? Taylor Swift is the best in the world. Well, I'm sure to some people she are. I'm sure to some people she is. Taylor Swift a better songwriter than Beyonce? I don't know. Because I don't know no Taylor Swift songs. So I don't know. But if you feel that way, I don't understand. This is one thing that I don't understand. I don't understand black people's desire to elevate white people over black people. That's what I don't understand. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's what you were doing, Terry, even though I suspect possibly. But I'm not necessarily saying that that's what you were doing. But I've heard a lot of conversation surrounding this woman. And I hear more black people riding her job, trying to elevate her than supporting black people. And I that always, again, I don't know her. I don't know her stuff. But I'm talking about black people who don't listen to her stuff, who's not a fan of hers, but steady telling you how she's better than all of these other people who are currently out there doing it. She's better than Beyonce. I don't know. And, it's all subjective, but saying it with such passion. Ain't enough white people to advocate for white people, greatness, purity. You ain't got to do it. Somebody white to do it. Advocate for black people, but I don't know. I guess that's just me being crazy. I remember Paul Mooney. This don't always apply. It might not even apply to this, but I remember when Paul Mooney, and he was talking about, he had come to the station. They didn't want him to come and do an interview on the buzz. And Paul Mooney said, because they told me not to come in here and do this interview on the buzz, I knew I had to come in here and do this interview on the buzz. I don't even know what no buzz is. And he told us a story about him being at the comedy club. And y'all know the kind of comedy that Paul Mooney did. And he said, I was never concerned about white people being offended by my comedy because I knew it was always some black person that was going to stand up and be more offended than every white person in the room on behalf of white people. They don't even have to worry about being offended. It's always going to be a black person with enough offense for all of them combined. They always going to be safe. And I keep seeing and hearing this conversation. I'm like, why are we pitting the purity of Taylor Swift against every black artist on the planet? Like, really? Why are we doing this? She's an artist. She got a fan base. Just let that be that. It ain't got to be, she's better. She's got more fans. Their range is better. She's selling more records. She's more pure and wholesome. I don't always understand it. But again, it's always somebody. There's always going to be some black people to stand up and exalt white people over black people. And a lot of times they don't even know that's what they're doing. A lot of times they don't know that's what they're doing. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Lady Gaga was hot a few years back. Katy Perry too. I couldn't tell you a single Lady Gaga song or Katy Perry. Not a single one. Alonzo says she on white people level, on Michael Jackson level with white folks. Yeah. But of course, that's not Michael Jackson level because he was with everybody. All right, I'm behind. 513 717 5464. 513 717 5464. Purity Taylor has dated like that Lori Harvey girl. Don't tell everybody that. Some people think that she's the most pure person in the world. She's the most pure music artist on the planet. She's pure. Are you talking about someone whose name rhymes with Blink and Bear? No. These are just conversations that I've heard. I watch a lot of stuff. I listen to a lot of stuff. I pay attention to a lot of stuff. And yeah, these are just conversations that I've heard. But I've paid more attention to them, since Taylor Swift is coming. She's coming. Oh, now she's here. So I've paid more attention to them, but yeah. But no, I've never heard Lincoln say anything about her. Ben says, I think the argument is statistically based. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But if you think it's statistically based, it probably is. Probably is. Man, Terry is mad today. Name Beyonce best song then. Exactly. You can't do it. Put a ring on it sucked. Again, that's subjective. And I don't know if she wrote that. Like, that's my point. I don't listen to Beyonce enough to know what Beyonce wrote and what other people wrote for her. Beyonce didn't write every song that Beyonce recorded. And Taylor Swift probably hasn't written every song that she has recorded. I can't say that for a fact because I don't know none of the songs that she recorded. So I don't even know if Beyonce wrote the Put a Ring on It song, but I don't know her library and which ones did she write versus somebody else wrote. Not a fan of either of them. And calm down. Why are you so mad? Why are you so mad? I was supposed to get to my First Amendment audit today, and I have one. But let's see. Diane says, folks love To the Left, but she didn't write it. I'm 99.99% sure that that's not the name of that song. The name of that song is Irreplaceable, if I recall. And I believe Neo wrote that song. Why do I know that? There's a reason why I know that, and I don't know why I know that. But I believe Neo wrote that song, and it's called Irreplaceable. But that's the point. Well, she's a better songwriter. I don't know. I can't argue that. I don't know no songs that she wrote. Is Terry Trice a dude? He must be sitting in his pink Taylor Swift skirt and shirt arguing with E-Man about Taylor Swift. And I'm not even arguing. I'm not saying anything negative about her. Why would he be arguing with me? Why would he be mad at me? I haven't said anything negative about her. You're correct, or you're right. You know it because you secretly like me. I don't. Look, here's what I'll admit. Because, I try to be an honest dude. Not a fan of hers. And I've said it for years. I don't care for her, but I don't really know why I can't 100% put my finger on it. But there is something about her that I don't like. And it might not be fair because I don't know her. I might meet her in person and be like, oh man, she's a wonderful woman. But her persona, something about it, I don't like. But I don't have any animosity towards her. Like I don't wish anything good or anything bad. I'm a little indifferent. She's successful. Good for her. But I know that for a reason. It came up in some conversation or something that we were having many years ago at the Buzz. And that's why I know that. But I can't think of what it is. Her voice. I think she's a skilled vocalist. And I don't know if it's her talking voice. I don't really like it, but I don't think that's it. And again, the something is about, I make a difference between her personality and her persona. The persona is what you put on in front of the cameras. But that's not necessarily who you are in your everyday life. To me, that's your personality. The persona is 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, this is a persona. How you gonna try to put me out there? No, Jerica. Like I'm some secret Beyonce fan. Like I'm dancing in the mirror and doing the one little dance that she did, that Justin Timberlake did on Saturday Night Live. That I don't know, but I know it was some specific little dance. Like, no, that's not me. You're gonna try to put it out there like I'm secretly. Stop it. Stop it. LaDonna say, I don't care for her either. Yeah. Her talking voice drives me crazy. Yeah, you meant, yes, speaking voice. Diane says, I like Beyonce. All right. And I'm not against that. I got nothing against somebody who likes Beyonce. Nothing. Jerica says, she sounds uneducated, in my opinion. You don't know. Oh my goodness. Walter, just find LeBron James and have sex with him. Okay? Find him and have sex with him. Oh my God. Just find him. Have sex with him. And, have him pour his juices all over you and then rub it in. And then maybe you can let it go. Trust me, LeBron ain't out here defending you. He ain't out here defending you. Damn. I never understand y'all. You don't know LeBron James either. If you meet him, you probably think he was a cool dude. I don't know what I would think. Except that he posed as a gorilla on the cover of that magazine. Just find him and have sex with him. Do it. Do it. Oh my goodness. You really felt you had to define persona? Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And while we're talking about music, make sure y'all check out the latest NPR Tiny Desk concert. Juvenile closes out Black Music Month. All right. That felt like a commercial. How much do I charge for commercials? I'm not sure. I'm not a hip hop guy. just a little bit of hip hop. It's like my hip hop tastes are very, NWA. I'm kind of in that era, a little Big Daddy Kane, but not a whole lot. Like probably his more, when he worked with Teddy Riley, I get the job done. I work. Anything goes when it comes to hoes because pimping ain't easy. That project, I like some like older, Sugar Hill Gang era, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, but just some of it. Like my hip hop, I'm no connoisseur of hip hop. So Juvenile, I'm not looking at a Tiny Desk concert with Juvenile. But if you do, I ain't got nothing against you. Nothing against you. Hold on. Let's see. Scroll. Jerica loves the Tiny Desk segments. Blade want to know what's up with the soft dude. They love LeBron, bro. You have younger listeners. Embrace it, bro. I'm not against it. I don't know. A Juvenile song, I know one, but I can't, like, he had a big kind of, I'm going to say crossover hit. He had a big hit commercially that I know that he had. I couldn't name it for you right now. If you named it, I would be like, yeah, that's it. Other than that, if Juvenile walked by me on the street, I wouldn't have any idea who he was. I would have no idea. But I'm not against him. Sierra in the house. All right. Sierra says you're not embracing your younger listeners. I don't. No, y'all need to like tell me, help me. I don't. As a guy who sings, rap is like it's got to have a little something to draw me in because I don't see, and I know this ain't fair. Some rapper out there about to be mad. They don't be mad at me like I am at LeBron James. He said I ain't got no talent. But I don't see the talent. Anybody could write some lyrics for me and I could spit them and they be like, oh, damn, E. I don't see, and I recognize everybody can't do it. So I know that it takes talent, but maybe I just don't appreciate the talent because it's different than singing. I acknowledge that it takes talent, but I don't appreciate it. Probably because it's something I don't really care about, but I feel like I could do it easily if I wanted to. That sounds arrogant of me. Oh, you could do it easily if you wanted to. But I do. I feel like I could do it easily if I wanted to. You said we ain't got no talent. I didn't say you don't have no talent. I might not appreciate the talent maybe as much as I should. And y'all not helping me. Y'all, my younger listeners are abandoning me in that area. Hey man, I didn't know Beyonce was so hated in the Black community till listening to your platform. I didn't know she was hated in the community either. Because I don't think not being a fan, which I know a lot of the Beyonce fans seem to feel this way, but not being a fan is not the same as being hated. Me saying I don't listen to Beyonce music because I'm not a fan of hers, I don't care for her, is not the same as I hate Beyonce. It's not the same. People try to make it the same, but it's not. I don't know, somebody telling me Juvenile, back that ass up. Cash Money Records taking over for the 99 and the 2000. Okay. What did we do to you? Y'all abandoned me. Y'all don't, keep me up on everything. Oh, Slow Motion was another one. I remember the song, but but I remember back to that. Or on the radio, back that thing up. Actually, I almost played that. I played music. Oh, I need you to DJ. I said, I'm not a DJ. I am not a DJ. I will play music for your event, but I am not a DJ. And then I came and I set up my speakers and my turntables and everything. Thought you said you wasn't a DJ. I'm not a DJ. I have DJ equipment, but not because of a DJ. I have it because I did sound, I used to do sound for live bands. And I mess around with a lot of stuff. So I have some DJ equipment, but I'm not a DJ. I will play music for your event. What's the difference? If you've ever really DJ'd or been to a party where there was a DJ, there's a difference between somebody playing music and somebody DJing. I'm not a DJ, but I play music, and I almost played that song, except for it was a family event, and so it was some little kids there, and I didn't have the edited version. So I don't think I'm going to play that song. Nope, not going to happen. Janice says, watch the BET Awards. Now I know what hell might look like. All those booties gyrating exposed was too much for TV. Yeah, it wasn't. It was a bit much. Hold on, let me write some lyrics for you. Yeah, write them. Produce the track. You got a studio? We can do it via Zoom. I got a studio. You send me the beat, you produce the track, write the lyrics, send me the lyrics. You could be on Zoom and you produce the track. And let's do it. Sierra, I'll take you up on that. I'm not ashamed. And then I'll record the song, I'll mix it, and then I'll play it on the air. Bet? We got a deal? Don't try to call me out like I'm afraid to do it. Let me see. Janice says, you're right. There is no creative lyrical content. Jerica, why you hating on me today? You're just going to be a hater today. It sounds arrogant, especially when it comes from an arrogant person. It's confidence, baby. It's confidence. I mean, I have some musical and vocal ability. Believe it or not, I use my voice for a living, really for the past 20 something years. Talking and singing. And if I combine those two, which I have on stage a number of times, I know I have the ability to, come on. It's not arrogance. It's just, a little bit of confidence because I know what I'm capable of. I'm not an arrogant person. You seem like a Young MC Tone Loc type fan. I did like a couple of songs from Tone Loc, and what was the because I only know one song from Young MC. Was it Bust a Move? I did like that. Yeah. The real Roxanne Shante walked past. She even touched my shoulder to get past me a couple years ago, and I was just starstruck down on the square at the Black Taste. I've never been starstruck. But that's, I think, because I don't know a lot of these stars. But even the ones that I do know that I really appreciate, I'm never starstruck. Never. I've never been starstruck, like ever. And I met, a number of artists have come through when I was at the radio station, came through the radio station. And some of them, like Charlie Wilson, huge Charlie Wilson fan. Gap Band, Charlie Wilson. I think he's one of the top vocalists, in particular, male R&B vocalists of all time. He's in my top 5 for sure of all time. When I met him, he walked by, whatever, and he was stopped right in front of the door because I guess his person who he was with was talking to the account executive or somebody getting ready to go on, I believe, The Wiz. And he was standing there and he was looking in. I wasn't going to say nothing to him, but then he was standing there for so long. I was like, hey. And he was like, what? And I was like, I just wanted to let you know, I think you got one of the best voices ever in R&B. And he was like, oh, man, I appreciate that. And I was like, no problem. That was it. That was the whole, I wasn't like, oh my God, it's Charlie Wilson. Oh, what do I do? I believe in giving people compliments, And that was the entire interaction. I never been starstruck. I don't even understand starstruck. People are people. He has a skill that I appreciate. But overall, he's just a dude. He's just a dude. They said she didn't sound educated. That sounds like hate. I don't know that it's hate. Emmanuel, you know what time it is. Hold on, let's see. Scroll. I got to get out of here. The BET, I watched a good portion of the BET Awards. I wasn't sure what I was watching because, again, I don't know a lot of these artists. Now, Mrs. Livingston, she a hip-hop head. So in particular, when Busta Rhymes did his very long set, like she was sitting there and she was into it. And I was like, I know a piece of one or two of these little songs, but I was paying attention to the fact that it looked like his shirt was tore under his arm. Like, keep your arm down, put your jacket back on. Because I wasn't into the music. Oh my goodness, you hate LeBron though. If I can get him to send like a pint of semen to you for you to drink, will you just let it go? Like, just get your drink on, be satisfied with it, and then just move on and, he just be like a normal dude to you. Man, you can sing. He's seen me. And you did come to it when I used to perform up at Mesh. You did come up there. Yeah. And I always appreciated that support. I always appreciated it. When y'all would come in, I was like, oh, they coming in to support. Let's see. I don't recall hip hop being out in 1973. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. Uncle Charlie, get down. I think he's got an amazing voice. Daryl says, I met Mike Tyson back in 2015 in Vegas. I was starstruck for a minute. Then I was starting to think, damn, this dude is short. Yeah, Mike Tyson is shorter than, I met him actually a couple times, and he is shorter than you would imagine. I mean, I'm a short dude. So I thought he was going to be, but I was like, he's not that. I think I could beat Mike Tyson. I don't know why that always goes through my mind. When I met him, I was like, he is not this gigantic dude. I think I can beat Mike Tyson. I didn't challenge him. uh, Genesis, I was starstruck with actors Ozzie Davis and Bernie Casey. Met, talked with, and took photos with both. All right. Keisha says, me neither. I met him. They people just like us. Been around musicians my whole life. No biggie. Janice says she loved Buster's segment and his acceptance speech. I'll tell you, I was mad at his acceptance speech, not because of what he said. I've been a stage manager for a show before, live in front of an audience, in a theater. And in my mind, like when he was like, they told me I only got 2 minutes. And then he talked for what felt like 20 minutes. I know that the producers was at the end of their, like, we are losing money. We need him off the stage. And he kept talking. And my mind went to, if I was the stage manager, what would be going on in my headsets? When he's going on, we got to get him off the stage. Get the next segment ready. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh, I just could not imagine. I was like, Busta Rhymes, get off the stage. Stop talking. But that was just from a stage management perspective. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, and they not going to play no music on him, because a lot of times at award shows, but he was getting the Lifetime Achievement Award. You'll play the music to get somebody out when they just accepting an award. I don't know. I think it was the American Music Awards used to play. I was like, they play the music, but they can't play the music because this is the Lifetime Achievement Award. And you just don't do that to the Lifetime Achievement Award winner. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is driving somebody crazy. I know it was. Daryl says, damn, man, why all the gay references? Why all of the, a man riding for another man that hard? Again, if I was saying something about his wife, he probably wouldn't be that adamant about how wrong I was. Forget that dude. He don't know what he's talking about. About his wife, about another man. Oh, no. There's something weird about that to me. I did not see the awards, but did see the Busta Rhymes clip. The guy was on stage with him. Really got on my nerves. Up, right there. Scrolling. Daryl says that came to my mind too. Kenneth says Mike would lay you out. I'm sure he would. But when you see him and he's not, and I get it, TV, blah, blah, blah. But it's something about when you walk up on a dude and he's this, baddest man on the planet, bigger than life dude. And then you see him and you like, he not that big. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense because I'm fairly certain. I'm like 99% sure Mike Tyson would have beat the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? But for that split second, I'm like, I think I could beat this dude. I think I could go toe to toe with this dude. And then, of course, reality kicks in and you like, nah, probably not. But I don't know why. It's like Daryl said, it came across his mind too. I don't know why. E-Man, I'm glad you didn't try Mike. In Mike's prime, I would have fought Mike Tyson. I was a little dude when he was in his prime. I would have fought Mike Tyson for the money, and I would have gave it 100%. I would have really tried to win. I wouldn't have been in there, you give me, $12 million. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to give it 100%. What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? I'm going to get knocked out, maybe killed. And then my family gets that money. I would have did it. And I would have gave 110%. I really would have. I really would have. Oh. Pamela was starstruck when she met Usher. I don't understand starstruck. I just don't. But I understand that it is a thing. It is a thing. Okay. Tyson's a fire plug that hit hard as hell. Stay in your lane. I didn't challenge you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fool. I might have thought like a fool for a moment, but I'm not a fool. I didn't challenge him. But for $6 million, $12 million, for $12 million, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to look like one of them dudes in his highlight film. So what? I got $12 million. We all know how much you like Ricky Smiley. Oh, I don't like Ricky Smiley. And it's not his persona. It's his actual personality. I don't like Ricky Smiley. Genesis, I've been around professional athletes and entertainers most of my life. Every now and then, one comes along that you really admire. All right. My mind was playing tricks on me. Oh, Mike hit way too hard for you. So what? You telling me, maybe not you, Princess Flower, but for all y'all dudes on here, y'all telling me if somebody offered you $12 million to fight Mike Tyson, you wouldn't do it? You wouldn't do it for $12 million? I think something wrong with y'all. I think something wrong with y'all. $40,000 is the most you could have made for fighting Mike. Look, I'm not saying that they would have paid me that amount of money, but I'm just saying, on the off chance that they would have, I would take it. I would take it. Pain is temporary. Well, I mean, death is permanent, but there's a really good chance he wouldn't have killed me. There's a really good chance he wouldn't have killed me. As Charlie Winburn would say, you being nasty. I've been starstruck many times. When I saw you and spoke to you, Emanuel, you were not friendly. Me? Not friendly? No, hold on. Let me not act surprised. I'm not friendly. I'm not friendly. Friendly to me says one thing. Now, being nice, like I'm the nicest person you ever want to meet. I'm the nicest person you ever want to meet, but I'm not friendly. I'm people would say standoffish. I'm not necessarily a outgoing, friendly person. I'm not hey, how you doing? I'm not one of I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Like when I'm working on it. But, I've not been, I know, I realize I'm much more of a stand in the corner and watch everything happen. If you come up to me, like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. But I'm not the friendliest person. but I'm like the nicest person. And I realized those are different. Those are different. So I'm working on being more outwardly friendly. But if I was mean to you, I apologize. LaDonna said she would have went in the ring and laid down. Not me. I'd have gave 100%. I would have gave 100%. For $12 million, I would have let one little Mac super punch in me and then just close my eyes. No, I would have tried to win. Can you just imagine I get off a lucky shot and knock out Mike Tyson? I'm the undisputed heavyweight boxing champion of the world. Can you imagine? That's what I would be thinking. Like, I'm going to give me a shot. I'm going to get me a shot. I'm trying. I'm going to be the champion. I'm going to win. Why? Why not? Why not try? Why not try? I'm going to be the undisputed world heavyweight boxing champion. And I go out to my Chevette and put my belts in the back seat of the Chevette. Why not try? Why not try? Oh. Oh boy. I would plan to go all 12 rounds. I'm going to give it 100%. And I'm really not resigned to the fact that I'm going down in the first round. I know y'all all think that. Oh, he done knocked you out in 12 seconds flat. Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe he's too arrogant today. Maybe he's been hanging out with Bobby Brown. You know what I'm saying? Doing drugs and shit. Maybe. And he come in like, this little, come in, this little peekaboo. Dropped them hands just a little bit. Bam! Like, he shocked the world. He shocked the world. I wouldn't even know what to say. But I know I would grab them belts. They'd be right up there in the back of my Chevette. I'd be rolling on home. April said, I rolled my eyes each time. I don't roll my eyes. Now you thinking about somebody else. I don't roll my eyes. Maybe I was sleepy. LaDonna says he was friendly to me. I'm working on it, LaDonna. I'm working on it. I appreciate y'all. Nose in the air type. No. Just off to myself. I'm much more likely you see a crowd, you're gonna see me sitting over here. Crowd, me. And I don't really know why I'm that way. Princess Flower says, Emanuel, you didn't even shake my hand when I met you. Wyatt introduced us, and yeah, you were dry. Well, it all depends on what was going on. Were you talking about, was that at the live thing that we did downtown? Because I was doing a lot of work. See, a lot of people don't understand. If you catch me while I'm working, like we was trying to get on the air. I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to find power and I'm trying to hook everything up. And then, if Wyatt comes up and be like, hey, this is so-and-so. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And I'm right back to work because I'm focused. We got to get on the air. We got to get it going. I'm setting up. I'm not necessarily going to be all that friendly at that point. I know that because I'm focused on the goal. And in my mind, people should understand, like, you see me plugging in wires and shit. You know what I'm saying? You see me, I'm focusing cameras. I'm setting up mics. And you want to, hi, how you doing? I just want to, in my mind, bitch, you don't see me setting up, But you can't wait till I finish setting up. Like, you can't. I'm not saying because I don't remember. I apologize. I don't remember. But if it was when I was setting up, then I might not have been all that friendly. And again, I apologize. I'm working on it. That's right, like Buster Douglas did. I'd do my parade and everything. I would do my parade and everything. Let's see. It's okay to dream big, Emanuel Livingston, but you do know you would have got knocked. But no, I don't know that. I don't know that. I believe there's an exceptionally high probability of that. But I don't know that to be true for a fact. It never happened. It never happened. Let's see. Taking one of Mike Tyson's combinations is like getting in a car wreck. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. Yes, downtown at Eli's barbecue. Yeah, and was I setting up when he introduced us? Was I setting up, trying to make sure everything was right, and making sure that little baby was good and safe? So my focus was not even singular at that moment because I had to make sure the little baby was safe and, occupied and all that good stuff. So yeah, I probably was, but I had a lot of stuff going on. Was it when I was setting up? Just curious. Princess Flower says you were already on the air. Well, that even make it? I was on the air. I'm probably watching the little baby, making sure she all right. We had issues with the stream that day, so I'm probably trying to figure out what's going on with the stream. I was literally switching because we had 3 cameras, so I was doing the live switch at the same time. And, we didn't go to commercial because, it's me and Wyatt. So I was doing the live switch at the time, making sure the audio was good, making sure the little baby was good, trying to make sure that the stream was good, and trying to, do a talk show. So yeah, I probably was dry because I was really distracted. And I know people don't think about that. You meet somebody, you like, I met you, bro. Damn all the stuff you was doing. I met you. Be friendly. But take that into consideration. But I do apologize if I wasn't friendly to you. Kenneth says, I used to see you in Avondale in the 80s, Vine and Forest. That's where I used to be. That's for sure. I did not call you. I did not call you no B. I guarantee I did. Well, I can't guarantee that, but I'm pretty sure that I did not call you no B, at least unprovoked. You know what I'm saying? What did you say? What did you say? Let me ask you. Was you acting like a B? Otherwise, I can't imagine I would have said that. Was you acting like a B? Let me see. So you're an introvert. I really am. I really am. Yeah, very much. Black Lion, hold on. Black Lion said something. Emanuel Livingston, I met you a few times and you never shook my hand or even said hello. That is not true. That is not true. Oh. Oh, I know I would have got knocked out. I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that at all. You can't beat Mike now. He's smoking hella weed now. Stay lit. For $12 million, you put up $12 million. That's my share. I don't know what Mike Tyson. And let's me and Mike get in the ring and see. I give it 100%. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's my minimum. That's my bottom floor. 12 million. Don't come talking about I got 11.59, 12. I got 11.95 million, 12. 12 million. I get in the ring. LaDonna said, yeah, I remember that day. It was messing up. Princess Flower says, I met your wife. She was watching Little Baby. Nah, you mean. She came later, and then I sent Little Baby over to her. But we were still, in the process of doing everything. And then you never answer. What were you saying? What were you saying? That matters. Were you exhibiting B-word behavior? I can't imagine I would have just out of nowhere, Wyatt says, hey, yo, E, Jackson, I want to introduce you. This is Princess Flower. And I said, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine that being the case. F that bitch. I don't want to meet that bitch. No way in the world did it go down like that. Because that's not me. I'm just messing with you. You cool with me. I'm glad. B, damn, man. Yeah, I wouldn't do that unless it was warranted. Now, look, if it's warranted, I might have to say it. Other than that, you just said it on this show. Okay. No, that was what I would have been thinking. That wasn't what I would have said out loud. That's what I would have been thinking. This bitch say I'm working. What the fuck? That's what I would have been thinking. I think a whole lot of stuff. But then I try to clean it up. When it come out, Emanuel Livingston, if you fight Mike now, you won't get knocked out. You'll die at this age. Your heart can't take the stress. Hey, I've been walking on that treadmill, bro. I walked on that treadmill for almost a week straight. Well, minus a day. Let me get off of here, y'all. Let me get off of here. I appreciate it. I got to get out of here. Hey, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Let me be silly. I appreciate y'all. I promised somebody that I would do the First Amendment audit today, but I didn't get it done today. I will get it. We'll do it on Monday. And I will be here on Monday. Probably not Tuesday, but I will be here on Monday. So we'll get to the First Amendment audit on Monday. It's really late. I hope Wyatt is coming on. Wyatt, if you are, I apologize. I'm running over into your time. And y'all know I always try to not do that. Go check Wyatt out. I really do support that brother. I like what he's doing. And I want y'all to check him out and, listen to him. Expand your thoughts. All right. I got to get out of here. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Hope something amazing happens to you, life-changing by the end of this weekend, okay? Until next time, it's been the Afternoon Experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. My title is the King of Talk, and I am out. Peace.